Okay, so we are back for a review of Handmaid's Tale, the very first episode, season 3. And just so you know, I brought notes because there was a lot going on. And honestly, if you haven't watched Handmaid's Tale, I don't know what I'm doing, so that's a personal problem. Um, Please catch up with all the other seasons if you haven't. It's an amazing show, and I feel like, especially with everything that's kind of happening in the world right now, it's even more poignant and even more important, I feel like, for people to watch. Um, so anyways, let's get back to the review. This was something that I was so excited to watch because I was really like anticipating this. So obviously where we left off on the second season was that June went ahead and gave her baby to Off Joseph, aka Emily, and she's in the back of the truck. They're both gone now, and she's standing in the middle of the street like, I don't know what I did. Bitch, I know what you did. And this is the thing, though. I also want to put out there that the first thing I thought when she gave her the baby was just like, you stupid bitch. But then I thought about the fact that she really has this child that she can't just forget existed, Hannah. And she was determined to make sure, now that she knew that her one child was safe, that she wanted to go back for the child that was ripped away from her. So anyway, so basically, June basically tells, now that we know who he is, his name is Commander Lawrence. He was the one who Off Joseph was with first. And then, you know, what happened there. Off Joseph tried to kill Aunt Lydia, and then he just ended up freeing her like, you're, like, thanks. Never liked that bitch kind of thing. I don't know what happened. But, so now you have basically she's standing in front of him saying like, I need to find my daughter. Do you know where the Mackenzies live? And and he's basically like, bitch, I can't take you anywhere. I think I've done enough. Don't you think I've done enough? At least this is my impression of what he was saying. And she's like, I really need to do this. And he's basically saying no. And she's like, guess what? I can put your ass on the wall too. So now I'm not giving you any choice. And he was like, ooh, spunky. And I'm like, let's watch out for that guy. So now he goes ahead and he drops her off at the Mackenzies. And next thing you know, you see like the lights outside, the sirens. I'm like, oh my goodness, this bitch got caught. She was never going to get this kid. Jesus Christ. But I'm like, it would have been too easy for the first episode for her to grab Hannah and just go, I guess. So she's there. The popo comes. He gives her she gives her, Hannah some kind of, keepsake. Like, maybe it was like a string or something useless. And, then we basically just watch June for like, it's like every season this bitch escapes and every season she gets caught. So we just basically watch as they, take June away, and we're all like, oh, this is where she dies. This is obviously where she dies. Or at least in the back of my mind, I was like, if she's not gonna die, she might lose an eye or a clitoris, or, I mean, people don't give a fuck in this TV show. They just lopping parts off because guess what? Your uterus is still good. So, then, but before they go and they take her away, she has a very surprising conversation with Hannah's, I don't know, stepmom, adoptive mom. I don't know what you want to call it. This whole thing is so fucked up. But she has a very surprising conversation where she's like, she just wants to know what Hannah's like. And they have a conversation about how Hannah wants a dog, but she's allergic. And you just kind of see like this connection, between them that was kind of joined by their daughter. But at the end of the conversation where June was like, of course I know these things, I'm her mother, the bitch is like, yeah, you can finish taking her away. Okay, we done now. Then they take her back to the house where Frank is screaming. He is screaming. He's asking, like, where's the baby? I need my child now. And she was like, the baby is safe, right? And also I wanna mention as well that Serena Waterford turned into quite the G at the very end of the second episode. Sorry, at the end of the second season and kind of in the beginning of this one. And he's basically screaming that we're all gonna go on the wall if she doesn't talk about where the baby is. And then he's telling her, hey, I'm trying to save your life. And June is looking at him like, fuck out of here. Sound like a personal problem, my nigga. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Whatever you were upset about, that's a personal problem. And then you see Serena and her kind of have a moment, because Serena's obviously, still emotional and really upset. And she was like, did you give my baby to Off Joseph? You gave my baby to a murderer? And technically, she did give the baby to a murderer. It's not your baby, but she did give the baby to a murderer. I mean, I feel like it was justified murder, but that's just me. And obviously, they have this kind of emotional moment where they're able to kind of hold each other and be like, guess what? She's safe. Even though June doesn't really know that for a fact yet, she's just, keeping the faith. Anyway, so next thing you know, he's telling Nick to go ahead and take her upstairs, because I guess they're done with the conversation now. It's not going any farther. And I still had the thought in my mind, do you not know Nick is fucking on June? You have to know at this point, right? I mean, I'm not saying he knew that the baby's father is really Nick, but he's still trusting him so much with just oh, go ahead, just get rid of her. Just take her upstairs, everything's straight. Okay. Anyway, let me see here. So Nick was basically calling her selfish because he did so much to try and get her out. And June was basically like, don't you think I know I'm going to die here? Of course I knew this. I knew it as soon as I came back that I was not going to be making it out alive. Which makes me think to myself, are you really going to be killing June off in that last season? Is this the last season? Anyway. So basically, Frank and Serena are trying to come up with some type... Well, it's mostly Frank really trying to come up with some type of plan. To what they're going to tell the Gilead Guardians, whoever's ruling this shit. What are they going to tell them to keep them off the wall? Because basically they're complicit in Nicole's kidnapping at this point, as far as anybody else is going to see. So then we see them have this really kind of fucked up moment where she was just like, I'm very much okay with what I did. And at least the feeling that I got was and I'll do it again. And then we have a moment where Serena's by herself, and then you just see her with this bottle of something that looks poisonous and ends up being super flammable. And then the Serena's just lights, we just see the bed on fire, and Serena's looking like she about to jump in, and I'm like, oh, did this bitch just lose it? Oh shit. Is that what we're doing? And June comes in and she's just like, hey, hi, let's wake up, let's go outside because you don't want to burn up in the house. And then you hear the voiceover that says something like, God will get his vengeance through fire, burn, motherfucker, burn. And I'm just like, June, she's so poetic. I love it. Anyway. And I was just so definitely here for the upbeat piano house burning down montage. I just want to put that out there. I found that really fun and ironic. So then we go back to kind of Off Joseph, and they basically want to make sure that now that because they actually were able to escape. And it was actually really crazy because when you see a scene where Off Joseph is going through the waters, and you see somebody basically with flashlights, and they're all they're shaking her, and I thought that she got caught, but it was Canada saying, would you like to take refuge? Yes, Canada. I think the fuck I would. So basically now at this point, she's now in the Canada embassy or whatever. And at this point, she's they're saying like, hey, we're gonna have to